Today we're going to do another 2024 election recap for 5 different states. We'll look at the top of the ticket, including down ballot and local races, ballot measures, courts, etc. We've got Mississippi, Delaware, South Dakota, Kentucky, but we're going to get things started here in the land of enchantment. That's New Mexico. And at the top of the ticket for president, Kamala Harris wins this state by 6 points. It's clearly lower than the margin in 2020, but it's still over 5 points. Trump held a rally here close to the election. Maybe it helped out, maybe not. Either way, a clear red shift in this state. At some point in the future, we'll probably take a look at some of these counties, but let's see what else we've got going on. We've got a U.S. Senate race, and it looks like incumbent Democrat Martin Heinrich has defeated Nella Domenici by about 10 points. Nella is the daughter of longtime U.S. Senator Pete Domenici, so it looks like Heinrich has secured another 6 years. Heinrich's support was easily above Kamala Harris's, while Domenici's was slightly under Trump's. Now in the U.S. House, there are 3 seats, and all 3 of those are going to stay controlled by Democrats. The map has been drawn unfairly here for the Republicans. The 2nd District was a rematch between Gabe Vasquez and former U.S. Representative Yvette Herrell. That's about a 4-point win there for Vasquez. In the state legislature, we've got the Democrats controlling both chambers. There's a bunch there. All these links will be down below in the description. But after that, we're going to go down to the ballot measures. All 3 of these, not really controversial. They're all related to bonds, and they all passed with 2/3 support or better. So nothing really juicy there. And finally, there's a couple of local elections for district attorney. So this moderately blue state will stay blue. Trump unable to be the first Republican to win the state since Bush in 2004. Next, let's go into the deep south. We've got Mississippi, and Trump won it in a massive landslide. He was able to eclipse 60%, and he won by more than 24 points, while Kamala Harris was down there at over 37. There was a chance that Harris could make inroads in a southern state. It didn't happen. She went in the other direction. Now, like New Mexico, no governor's race here in Mississippi, but we do have a U.S. Senate race. Incumbent Roger Wicker cruises to another term over Ty Pinkins. Wicker's margin is even higher than Trump's. After that, in the U.S. House, there are 4 seats. Democrats have 1 of them, Republicans have 3. Nothing's going to change here. 0 competition. All of these were either uncontested or total landslides. And then we could finish it up here with some judicial elections. We've got the appeals court and the Supreme Court. A couple of these are headed to a runoff. That should be on November 26th. It's not exactly an extremely high-profile race, but if you're from this state, obviously it's going to be important. So after this, we could go to the Northeast. We could take a look at Delaware, and here we have the home state of Joe Biden, and Harris carries the state comfortably, not quite as comfortably as Joe Biden. That makes sense, but she still got it close to 57%. Trump was down there at about 42. Only 3 counties here. Trump secured the bottom one. That's Sussex. And a bit of a swing right here, but nothing too dramatic. Now we've got other action here. We've got the U.S. Senate. This is an open seat to replace Tom Carper. And current U.S. Rep. Lisa Blunt Rochester is going to be getting a promotion to the Senate. It looks like she got the exact same percentage as Kamala Harris. Eric Hansen, the Republican, running slightly behind Trump there at under 40%. And there's also an open seat here for governor to replace John Carney. With a similar level of support, it's going to be Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer for the Democrats, defeating moderate Mike Ramone for the GOP. And Ramone there did run a little bit ahead of Trump. And for what it's worth, this was the closest election for governors since 2000. But considering it was still 12 points, that's not really saying a whole lot. And there's also an open seat here for the 1 U.S. House district. It's going to be Sarah McBride with about 58%. John Whalen, the Republican, there at about 42. So not a lot of variation for all the winning Democrats here in the state of Delaware. And then down in the state legislature, not much changing. It's a trifecta for the Dems. And then we've got Lieutenant Governor and Insurance Commissioner. Lieutenant Governor a little bit more narrow. Still an easy win there, though, for the Dems. And finally, the mayor of Wilmington is going to be current Governor John Carney. He decided to go in that direction, and he's going to be their next mayor. Now let's go to another sparsely populated but much bigger state in terms of land, and that's South Dakota. And we've got Trump winning this state by 29 points. It's a similar story as other states. It's a little bit better than it was in 2020. Harris wins a few counties that have a large Native American population, but other than that, it's total dominance here for Trump. Like Delaware, just 1 U.S. House district. It's incumbent Republican Dusty Johnson winning another term. He clearly outperformed Trump. He got it up to 72%. The Democrat there is only at 28, so a very strong showing there for Johnson. No governor's race this year, and in the state legislature, we've got a trifecta for the Republicans. Then, unlike Delaware, we actually have some ballot measures here. We've got one to adopt a gender-neutral language in the Constitution that would remove the default use of the male pronoun he, his, and him to refer to certain office holders. Looks like that one was rejected with 57%. Then we've got one to impose work requirements for Medicaid. That has the margin flipped. It passed with 56%. Then maybe the most high-profile one here is going to be the right to an abortion. It says in the first trimester trimester, there would be no restrictions. In the second trimester, regulations of abortion decisions would be allowed. In the third trimester, abortion would be regulated or prohibited except when medically necessary to save the life of the pregnant person. That one did not pass. It wasn't even close. It got 59% voting no. So maybe there's something else going on there. After that, we've got a top 2 ranked choice voting amendment. That overwhelmingly failed as well. 34 yes, 66 no. Prohibiting taxes on food and grocery. Looks like that's a no as well, so they're going to be keeping those taxes. And we've got another no here to legalize marijuana. That's yes 44, no 56. So a lot of rejections here in South Dakota, including the last one here on a regulation for pipeline companies. That was resoundingly rejected also, with only 41% voting yes. Finally, there's an election here for the Public Utilities Commission. And let's finish it up here on the last state. That's going to be Kentucky. Huge win here for Trump. It's a more than 30-point win for him. He's at 64.5. Harris is at 34. Almost the entire state is red. So absolutely zero competition here for president. But they do still have a Democrat for governor in Andy Beshear. Now, he was not up for re-election this year. And there's no Senate election either. So we've got to go down to the U.S. House. And there's no competition here. There's 6 seats. There's going to be 5 Republicans, 1 Democrat. They were all either uncontested or had margins of 24 points or more. And in that state legislature, the Republicans are going to maintain their supermajority. Democrats were hoping to be able to put a dent in that, to be able to give Governor Beshear some more power with his vetoes. Looks like the GOP is still going to be able to override them. It's just 7 Dems and 31 reps in the state Senate, 18 Dems, 80 reps in the House. Then a couple of ballot measures requiring citizenship to vote. That passed easily, but narrower than the margin for president. It got 62%. And then allow state funding for non-public education. That would allow the state legislature to give financial support to students in private or charter schools. So that's a school choice amendment, and it looks like it failed overwhelmingly. So we'll see what happens with that in the future. And finally, we've got a state Supreme Court race, and it's going to be Goodwine as the winner with 77%. I believe the Democrats are excited about that victory there, but I could be wrong. Either way, that's going to do it for this recap for these 5 different states. Let me know in the comments. Anything exciting going on here that I didn't cover? What do you think about the margins for president or Senate? And how about any of these ballot measures or down ballot races? Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.